I've been critical of the Houston Rockets ever since they have committed to this small ball lineup. The thing about small ball, it is a great offense in the regular season. It's fast paced. You catch most of your opponents off guard in the regular season because it's not a lineup, it's not a system that they defend against on a nightly basis. My issue with this type of system, this small ball system, is that once you get into a 7-game playoff series where the game slows down, NBA teams start to play actual defense, small ball teams tend to get exposed. I don't need to sit here and tell you guys how big this playoff series is for the Houston Rockets and for Oklahoma City, but mainly for the Houston Rockets. The stories write themselves. Chris Paul playing against the team that traded him last summer. Russell Westbrook going up against the team that drafted him, the team in the city that he basically grew up in as an adult. But what's getting lost in all these stories surrounding the Thunder Rockets playoff series is that the Rockets small ball experiment is about to be put to the test. This is a referendum on general manager Daryl Morey's strategy, his analytics. This is a huge series for Houston. This is a huge playoffs period for the Rockets. Not only is Mike D'Antoni's job on the line, but the future of the franchise is possibly at stake. James Harden is not getting any younger. Neither is Russell Westbrook. The window for an NBA title in Houston is closing rapidly, if it's not already closed. The trade of Clint Capella back in January signaled to the NBA that the Rockets were going all in on this small ball lineup. It was a risky move. And a move that is about to blow up in their face because the Rockets are about to be bounced in the first round by Oklahoma City. Now, you can call it an upset if you want, but I don't feel like the Thunder beating the Rockets would be an upset. The Thunder, in my opinion, should be the favorite in this series. Vegas has the Rockets as slight favorites to win the series, but Oklahoma City's the better team. The Thunder were the better team matchup-wise when Russell Westbrook was healthy. But now that he is injured, with no timetable really for his return, the Rockets are in trouble. It's kind of a twisted irony if you think about it. The reason that Daryl Morey traded Chris Paul in the first place was because he stayed hurt most of the 2018-19 season, last year. Now, yeah, he played in 58 games like he did the year before, but Chris Paul was half the player that he was during the 2017-18 season. So Daryl Morey trades him because he senses that Chris Paul doesn't have much left in the tank. And CP3 goes to Oklahoma City and revitalizes his career, leading a group of mostly nameless players to the 5th seed in the Western Conference. And the younger Russell Westbrook, who was supposed to help carry Houston in the playoffs, take some of the pressure off James Harden, he's hurt. Mike D'Antoni needs to go ahead, sharpen his pencil, get his resume ready. For one, all of the pressure is on Houston in this series. Chris Paul and the Thunder are pretty much playing with house money. They're not supposed to be here. No one expected OKC to be a playoff team this season, much less a 5th seed in the West. While the Rockets have the weight of the world on their shoulders. Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, this dude is not messing around. I remember a couple of years ago when Houston lost Game 7 to Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. Fertitta was adamant that he expected results, championships, that losing in the Western Conference Finals was not going to cut it. Well, he's going to be wishing the Rockets made the Western Conference Finals this year because Houston is about to get bounced in the first round. Losing Russell Westbrook to injury is a massive loss to the Rockets, but I don't believe this team was going to beat Oklahoma City with him healthy. Houston doesn't have a player in the starting lineup that's taller than 6'7". Who on this Rockets team is going to guard Steven Adams? He's shooting 59% from the field, and the Rockets have no one to match up with him. He's also going to demolish them on the boards, which isn't anything new for this team because they've been dominated on the glass since they traded Clint Capella. Clint Capella was the only guy on this team that could play in the paint. Now, Houston has no presence down low defensively. They're going to try and use PJ Tucker to keep Steven Adams away from the paint, away from the rim. Have him guarding the perimeter. But over 7 games, is that really a strategy that's going to work consistently? No. One of the reasons the Rockets nearly made the NBA Finals a couple of years ago was because they were elite defensively that year. That's just no longer the case in Houston. They're near the bottom of the league in points per game, 14th in defensive rating. Oklahoma City, on the other hand, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league. More importantly, they're one of the best clutch teams in the NBA. The Thunder are the number 1 team in the league in clutch rating. They're 8 points higher than the team that's ranked second. They're 30-14 in close games this season. Now, why is that important? Because most playoff games come down to the wire. Many people think this Oklahoma City team is too young, too inexperienced to beat a veteran team in the playoffs like the Rockets. But this team has faced adversity all season long. I know playoff basketball is a completely different game than regular season ball, but the Thunder are coming into this series battle-tested. This team has been in a lot of close games this season. Oklahoma City is better at nearly every position on the floor. With Westbrook out, the Thunder have the advantage at guard. OKC, better in the paint. They have the better bench. Oklahoma City's more balanced. Right now, without Russell Westbrook, Houston is going to be heavily reliant on James Harden on the offensive end. They're going to need him to score 30, 35 points every night just to have a chance at winning. While the Thunder, like I said, are extremely balanced. They've got 5 players averaging double figures every night. Dennis Schroeder, a finalist for 6th Man of the Year. More importantly, Oklahoma City has the ability to take away the one thing that the Rockets do well, that they do better than most every other team in the league. The 3 ball. The Thunder are second in the NBA defending against the 3. I have the Thunder winning this series in 7 games, and I expect to see big changes in Houston after they get bounced in the first round. Years from now, I think we are going to look back at the trade of Clint Capella and this dedication to small ball as the beginning of the end to the Houston Rockets, at least the James Harden era of the Houston Rockets. People have this misconception that the NBA is going small, that a lot of these teams are going with small ball lineups. And this all started with Golden State and their death lineup. But people tend to forget. The Warriors had size. Kevin Durant, 6'10". They had Andrew Bogut, 7 foot. Harrison Barnes was 6'8". The Warriors didn't play small most of the time either, like the Rockets are doing now. The first death lineup of Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, they only played 102 minutes together during the regular season. Plus, what made them so effective wasn't the scoring. It was the defense. They were quick. They would smother you defensively. The Rockets don't have the size or the defense this season. I know they were one of the better defensive teams in the bubble, but I'm not putting too much stock in those bubble games in Orlando. Majority of the teams came in with nothing to play for besides playoff seeding. And with no home court advantage, you basically were coming in just trying to stay away from the 7th and 8th seed. Houston's best shot at winning the NBA Finals evaporated with Chris Paul's injury in Game 5 against Golden State in the Western Conference Finals back in 2018. That team, that Rockets team, I think they would have won the finals that year. It was their year. This current Rockets team, especially without Russell Westbrook, is staring down the barrel of a first-round playoff exit. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Who do you guys have winning this series? OKC or Houston? And if the Rockets get bounced in the first round, could the James Harden era be at the beginning of its end? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.